All right, welcome everyone. My name is Malachi Wright. I am a second year dental student at the University of Maryland School of Dentistry. And in today's video, I just wanted to take some time and talk to you all about if it's possible to work while in dental school. This was a really major, big question that I asked myself before I started dental school. It seemed like yesterday I was reaching out to dental students who are already in school, some of my mentors as well, to try to see if this was something that was going to be possible. I went on Google, like most people do, and I was looking up, working in dental school and all these different things, and I was not getting the responses that I would have wanted to hear, because it is something that's very difficult. People were telling me, like, if you're not working a job where you're doing a monotonous task, or if you're not working a job where you're going to be able to study during that job, then it most likely is not going to be a job you're going to be able to work while in dental school. In this video, though, I want to be talking to you guys about how I'm working a job that is not like that whatsoever. It's very, very involved, and how I'm still able to manage school, going to the gym every day. It's about over 400 days straight that I've been in the gym so far, so it's definitely possible. And also maintaining a relationship. I've been with my girlfriend for over 7 years now. We still have really great date nights and stuff like that, but a really healthy relationship. And still spending time with family, just really managing all these different things in addition to the work that I do. So if you like this type of content, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm really open to talking about many things in regard to dentistry. I had a comment maybe about last week or 2 weeks ago about a student who really wants to get into using Anki, so I'm going to be making a video about how I use Anki to study. But with that being said, guys, let's get into the content for today. Some of you all who have been on my channel for a while, you may know that I work as an academic consultant. And what this entails is me meeting with students who are applying for residency programs, meeting with students who are applying to medical school, dental school. I even meet with students who are international students who are striving to apply to dental school and medical school in the United States. So I reach a broad spectrum of different applicants. I host mock interviews. I host planning sessions for what routes they should be taking, what tests they need to take, what resources they should likely use to study, what scores they need to be ranging on certain exams, what school lists they should be applying to, like everything you can think of when it comes to consulting a student regarding their application for whether it be dental school all the way to applying to residency for OBGYN. That is, or OB-GYN. That is what I do in my position as an academic consultant. So with that being said, this is not a job where you're just sitting down at a desk checking people in or working a register, whatever the case may be. There's absolutely no type of studying with the position that I have with my company that I work with. Everything is very strategic. We have meetings at least once or twice a week. I'm in direct communications with my managers all the time. I also receive checks. So about once a month, they do like a check on me. So any session that I've done that month, they can look at the recording of it to see if I am upholding the standards that the company upholds. Sometimes I do really good. Sometimes there's areas of improvement that I need to work on. And it really coincides with how school may be getting busy sometimes. But with that being said, it's a very serious position. Before I started dental school, though, I did not work this job for a really long period of time. I was only working here for about maybe 3 or 4 months before I started dental school. But the first tip that I have for you guys here is to do your due diligence. You want to make sure that you're reaching out to students at the prospective school that you go to see if this is something that is kind of a trend or is normal at your school. Certain schools have different programs, different curriculums, and different just ways they do things, and it may infringe on your ability to work. So for example, my school is not pass-fail. That means every single exam that we take, you are getting a grade, either A, a B, or a C, or God forbid, anything lower than that. If you don't do well on certain exams, then you may have to do something called a remediator course, which means you have to take that course over again. If you have too many course remediations, then that can lead to you, potentially being kicked out of the school. Now, with all that being said, I feel like my schedule in terms of working will be so much less strenuous if I went to a school that was on a pass-fail curriculum. Consider the type of program that you're going to be going into when you're looking for a job and considering whether or not you can work a job. The second biggest point that I have for you all here is really being realistic when it comes to the amount of time you want to dedicate to that job. For me, I'm required to work around 10 to 15 hours a week, minimum 10 hours a week. Most weeks I try to aim for at least 15 or 20 hours. That flexibility really helps when it comes to different weeks of school, because some weeks I may have a block where I'm going to be doing a specific rotation. Another week may be a little bit more strenuous because it will have maybe 2 or 3 exams rather so than just 1 or 2. So I'm able to stretch out my schedule for the most part to make sure that I'm working when I really want to be working, because my job dedicates specific hours and structured hours to just one specific topic. The next point that I want to make here, and this is the third point here, is going to be, if you're planning to work while you're in dental school, you really want to make sure you're considering what type of job you're going to be working. So I always advocate for working a job that requires or that allows you to study while you're on the job. This could be you working at the gym and you checking people into the gym, or you working at the library. Some of my friends work at the law library and they help people out find books for their law classes, or they help people find different articles or different texts to navigate through their law school curriculum. Look, my brother's at the law school. I don't really know too much about what they do over there, but there's employment at the law library. So look at the institution that you go to and try to see if there's any employment on campus, because a lot of those times, some of those positions are not going to be as focused and as stringent when it comes to not studying on a job and having to be 100% attentive whatever you're working. When I was studying for the DAT, I worked security, and this was a really great position to work in because all I had to do was really sit in my car and secure a ballot box at some odd hours in the night. But this was really great because I could study for the DAT while I was doing that job. So if you're a little weary about taking on a position that really requires your 100% dedication, like something like my job, then I would say start off with working a job that is going to be a little bit more in a laid back setting to where you don't have to be as attentive. And especially one when you're not getting like performance graded on your performance in that job as well. Fourth point that I have for you here, and I believe this is the fourth point because I think I only went through 3. So the fourth point that I have for you here is to, before you start dental school, you want to try to work at this job for at least 3 or 4 months. And that's important because you want to get into a routine of how long it takes you to do specific tasks. So if you're working a job like me, and my job is a virtual job, and that's another point that I have as well, is make sure that if you can get a job that's online and something that you can do from home, that would be great. If not, then you do need to schedule time for that commute cost, right? So maybe it's 15 minutes for you to get to work, and that's 30 minutes out of your day. Fill that 30 minutes out of your day with maybe watching half of a lecture on your way there, or maybe listening to a podcast that, may help you relax, or whatever that case may be. Try to fill that with some time to where you're doing something that's brain stimulating and productive. Or you can use it as just downtime to have some mental clarity or do some type of meditation while you're driving. I feel like that's something that I'm starting to implement more, and it's been really beneficial. Now, back to the point that I was talking about before though. If you are working a job, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting at least a few months in before you start dental school to work that job. And I say that because this will give you a routine and a pattern that you're kind of used to. So even though you have this one really big change, that big change being you getting into dental school and you starting dental school, something in your life that's going to be consistent is going to be your job. If you have fitness goals, then the gym. If you have relationship goals, then your relationship. If you have, like YouTube goals, then that will be your content creation. So all these different hats that you want to wear, really start to cultivate those before you start dental school, because then once you start dental school, you have these points of consistency that you can lean back on, and you're able to be more efficient when it comes to those things while you're in dental school. Because dental school is essentially just the game of efficiency. How can I utilize the time that I have to be most efficient and to learn most effectively and efficiently with the time that I have? You fall into a trap where you start to become lackadaisical and you don't utilize your time very well. And what I mean by this is that doesn't mean you have to be using every single second of your day to be doing something productive. if you live with me, and for those who do know me, you know that yes, I'm a very efficient person, but I have a lot of downtime, if you may. Like, I have time where I can sit on the couch and I can watch a 2-hour movie, or go to the movies once or maybe even twice a week, and go out to lunch with my dad, or go out to dinner with my girlfriend. So you have the time. You just feel like you don't. And since you have the time, just know, okay, I have the time to get all the things I need to get done, but I need to have a sequence and a plan to get these things completed. And this plan needs to be something that is realistic. And once you have that sequence and plan of something that is realistic, then you'll be able to stick to it. And the more you do it, the easier it will become. So I know a lot of people may find that to be a little difficult to follow. So I'm just going to give you a perspective of what this means for me. So let's say on a Saturday, right? On a Saturday, I know I want to get at least 4 hours of work in that day. And I know I'm probably going to have to study for 4 or 5 hours that day because I have an exam coming up that next week. I also know that I don't want to spend my whole day studying, and I want to do some form of relaxation. And most of the time, I want that relaxation to include my girlfriend. And I know some of the things that she likes to do, like going to the mall, or going to get ice cream, or going to the movies, or having a date night here where we cook something fun, or whatever that case may be. So I then start to think about, okay, if I were to make a realistic expectations and goals for accomplishing this, what would I do? That's going to require me to maybe make a sacrifice and wake up a little bit early on the weekends, even though we all like to sleep in. So let me wake up at 7 instead of waking up at 8 or 9 or 10. If I wake up at 7 o'clock, then I know that I can ease into my day a little bit here. I can start off by making up my bed, having this sense of control and this sense of organization. Then I can go into the kitchen and do my chores and wash my clothes so that I'm not worried about that later on in the evening, and that's not a stressor for me. Clean the bathroom if I need to. Then I can start planning for the sessions that I have for that day, because I want to start working at 8 o'clock. Since I know that 8 to 12 o'clock, I can spend my whole morning working. So that way I have after 12 o'clock in the rest of the day to do 2 big things: gym and studying. I know I need to get those 2 things done, and in totality, that may take 5 or 6 hours. My goal is to get the gym and 4 to 5 hours of studying in before 7 o'clock. That's very reasonable, because from 12 to 7, if my math stands correct, that should be around 7 hours. So I have an additional hour of buffer time in between that time to eat, drive, take breaks during my study sessions, whatever that case may be. I know that once 7 o'clock hits, that's free time for me. So whatever I want to do from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock, that's 5 hours, however many hours that is, or 4 hours, I'm able to do that. And that will most likely encompass me, my girlfriend. Maybe it's going out to get some dinner. Maybe it's meeting up with some friends, whatever that case may be. I'm able to sequence all these things in my life because I'm able to come up with a systematic plan to get them done. And a lot of times that plan does require some form of sacrifice. That plan does require some form of planning. That's why one of my biggest pieces of advice is to have a planner. I use a virtual planner called Notion, or even sometimes I may use like the sticky note pad on my laptop, just to jot down some of the things I want to get done for the day. Now I'm in a state where I feel like I can get a lot of these things done without even jotting them down, but I still use it just to have some sense of expectation. With that being said, you all, I hope you all found this video helpful and useful. Again, if you plan to work while you're in dental school, let me know. Drop a comment in the description below. And if you do work, if you're currently holding a job while in dental school, medical school, law school, PT school, whatever the case may be, drop some helpful comments in the description box below to let people know how they're able to, or how you're able to do this, and giving them some points of advice that tend to work for you to get you in a position where you're able to manage your time and work as well. So with that being said, again, thank you all for watching this video to the end. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. The videos will be coming out at least once a week. Thank you all so much for all the love and support. We're going to try to get to 1,000 followers before the end of March. So before the end of March, we're going to try to get up to 1,000 followers. I'm going to do some due diligence and try to do a lot of work on my end, striving to be a little bit more consistent. If you all want to see any other content, please let me know. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.